Hey guys, welcome back to another video, Android application development video tutorial, where I am going to talk about how you can design the animated splash screen for your Android application. So let's begin with this particular tutorial. Just go inside the file and create the new Android application project and give the specific application name. Let's say animation animate splash screen. The project name will be the same. The package name will be the com.purvik.animate splash screen. Give the minimum SDK requirement, all the configuration of the target SDK requirement, and the compile the version of the API level. Just call the new. Next, and now just select the particular clip art for the icon of our Android application. So for that, what I will choose this one. Okay, no, this one for our application icon, and just trim the surrounding of this particular icon. Set the square for this particular icon, and I will set the foreground of this icon as this one, which I will select from this particular thing where this will look, I think, familiar. So I will select this one, call the next, select the blank activity and call the finish. So your application packages will be created right now, like this one. Now, so it's saying that 6.0 is still waiting, so I will choose a layout for the API 21 because we are going to develop this Android application for the API level 21. Now uh, so that is what the layout that just appear over there. This is what the main activity is there, and the activity main XML file is there. But for the splash screen, we have to design the another activity in our Android application. So this will be our main activity, but for the splash screen we require the another activity that we have to create separately from this main activity. So just go inside this particular source folder and just go first create the layout. So just go inside the layout, create a new layout, Android XML layout. In that one, where it will ask you to give the name of that particular layout file. So for that you have to give the appropriate name of your Android XML layout file, which will take a smaller case in this particular file. So that is what the XML file will be created on behalf of that one. And now what we will require, that we require to set this layout file as the full home screen layout. So I will choose the application theme of this particular layout as the hollow light with the no action bar will be there. So that is what the hollow light no action bar will be there. So this will be the layout of our new Android XML layout file of this splash screen. Now choose a image view, where I now choose a image view from that will be displayed on our this particular splash screen. So take a one image view and put that on the center of this particular activity, and choose the icon as the launcher icon that we have created. Now this icon will be look very smaller on this particular thing. So just go inside the layout parameters of this particular image view. Inside the layout parameter, find out the width and the height of this particular image view, and set the particular dp for density pixel for this particular image view. Let's say I will change it to the 125 dp for the better understanding of this particular animation. So that will be both the 125 dp will be for the height and the width of this particular app icon. So it will be look like this one. Now we have to configure our the Java file inside this one. Before that, we will give the ID to this particular image view. So give the appropriate ID to this particular image view icon, and so that is what the image view icon is there. Now we have to create another class that will handle the background of this particular activity. So just create a class inside our source folder. Give the class name as the splash screen appropriately. Splash screen will be there, and the class that will be extended by this particular class will be the activity class. Call the finish. So it will create this particular class inside this particular source folder. So that is what our will be written over back over here. So now just register this particular activity inside our Android manifest file. So open the Android manifest file, go inside the application tab, add a one particular another activity inside that one, and browse for the name of the classes that you have just created for that one. So just wait for the few seconds until it will load all the classes of our Android application project inside this particular layout. So this is what the classes that we have created. Now select the splash screen class that we have just created, and select the OK, and you can also set the theme of this particular activity from over here. So just go inside the theme tag and find out these are the project resources that are there. Just go inside the system resources and find out the theme with the no action bar or the no title bar inside this one. So where I will find out that, just look for this particular theme inside this all the list, where I will find this in this particular section where the theme hollow with the no title action bar. Okay, so that is what the no title bar action bar full screen theme will be that. So this will be the set, and the whole things will be, as you can see in this particular XML file, the activity is just created after the our main activity, where the activity name is set to the splash screen and the theme is set to the no action bar full screen theme for this particular activity. So that is what the activity register in our Android manifest file, and thus save this content. Now inside the Java file we have to override the onCreate method of our class of this activity. So override the onCreate method, where you have to set the set content view of our XML layout file. So just call the set content view for this particular view, where we have to pass the parameter of the r.layout.activity splash screen that we have just created the XML file of this content. So this will load that particular XML or the UI for this particular class whenever this file will be called. So that is what the XML configuration of this particular thing. Now we have to create an object of the image icon, the image view that we have just put XML file. So inside this particular Java file, create an object of the image view that we have just kept on our XML file. Just create an object that is what the image view app icon, and initialize the object with the image view app icon image view find view by id, where we will pass the id of this particular image view that we have set earlier in this development. So set the particular id with the r.id.app icon, that what we have choose for that one, but it is not over there. So what we can say, we have to just clean this particular project, so it can bind all the IDs in the r.java file very easily. So just clean your particular project, this particular project, so it will load all the things very well, and it will refresh all the folders of that particular thing. So it is not still loading this particular ID of the image view. So what we can do, we can directly pass the image app icon is that. So we will directly pass the app icon over here, the ID of the image view that we have just created. Next thing, we have to create an animation class with the help of the animation, where the animation will be there, animation anim equal to animation utils. You will find out that animation utils class inside this one. So animation utils will be there, which will use to load the animation in this our particular class. So animation utils dot load animation method is there, load animation and method is there, which will take the parameter of the context and the ID of our animation. So what we require, that we require the context of this particular application, and we have to pass the ID of the animation that we want to create. So what we will do, we will take this particular thing, we will pass the context of the get application base context. So it will take the context of our application, and we have to pass the ID of our animation XML file in this particular thing. So just comment this section, and we have to create an anim folder inside our resource folder. Just right click on the resource folder and create a particular folder with the name of anim over there, which with the anim equal to anim. So the folder anim contains all of the animation regarding our Android application. So inside this anim folder, we have to load the XML of this particular animation that we are going to bind to our the image view or the view of our Android application. So from where we will get this particular thing. So go inside the folder where you have downloaded the platforms of our Android API. The different APIs will be there. Just go inside the particular API, let's say inside the Android 21 API, for which I am just developing this folder. So go inside the API, go inside the data tag, go inside the resource, in which you will find out the anim name folder, which will contain the animation. So these are the different folders which will take the different configuration files of this Android application. So inside the anim folder, where you will see this type of XML files will be there, which will use for for the animation of the different types of animations will be there. So these are the animation files which are in the form of the XML file. So what we have to copy, we have to copy the one of the XML file from over here to our anim folder over there. So what I will choose, I will choose the slide in left from over here. Just copy this file and just go inside our Eclipse anim folder and just right click on that one and paste this file over there. So that is what you have to do before copying this particular file. So just find out that particular file, slide in left over there, just copy this particular file from over here and just paste it inside our anim folder. So that is what the this particular slide in left XML file will be there, but the first one is fade in will configured, so I will just delete that particular file from over here. So what the slide in XML file, slide in left.xml file will contain, it is what the content of that particular file is there. So before going for that one, let me change the image icon that we have already seen over there. So it will get config automatically when we run our application. So just pass the ID of our animation that we have just created, r.anim.slide in left anim will be there. So animation anim object is now created. What we have to do, we have to just bind this anim object to our app icon which we have created. So copy just write down the app icon dot set animation. Set animation will set the animation for that particular view that we have for the object of that particular view that we have created, that is what the app icon. So just copy this set animation and pass the anim folder inside that one, which will bind that animation on the image view that we have just created. Now we have to configure what happen when the animation will be end. So what happen when the animation will be end? When the animation will be end, we have to call our main activity from this particular splash screen activity. So for that we have to override the few methods of this particular animation. So we have to set the animation listener over there. To set the animation listener on the animation that we have created. So for that anim.set animation listener, where we will create the new, we will pass the parameter equal to new animation listener, which will override the three methods, which will override the three methods. The three methods are the on animation start, on animation repeat, and the on animation end will be there. So for that we have to pass this we have to create this animation listener which will listen to the animation event. So that is what the animation listener is there. So we does not require the animation we does not override the we does not have to write anything in the animation start method, and because we don't require anything at that, and we does not also want when the animation will be repeated. But what we require to call the one main activity when our animation is going to be end. So inside this particular on animation end method, the animation listener will handle all these things when the animation will be going to be end for that particular image view. So inside our animation end method, we have to create a new intent with the help of the intent class. So which what we will create the intent I equal to new intent, where I am going to pass the two parameters. The first parameter will be this particular activity, that is what this splash screen activity dot this, and the target will be our main class, where is what the main activity class will be there. So main activity dot class will be there, so that will be the intent. And now what we have to create, we have to start the activity that what the main activity is there. So I will create the splash screen dot this dot main activity start activity, where I will going to pass this particular intent, so it will start the activity intent over there. So that is what the configuration of our this particular file. So when the animation will be start, the set animation listener will listen to this particular, and when the animation is going to be end, it will create an intent, it will start the activity, that is what the main activity, it will start the main activity of our Android application. But right now our main activity is not set to the splash screen activity. So for that we have to set this particular splash screen activity as our main activity launcher type of activity. So for that, go inside the Android manifest file, open this particular Android manifest file over there, and we have to cut this particular intent filter which is set in the main activity. So just select the intent filter from over there, cut that intent filter from over there, and just paste this inside our splash screen activity which we have defined over there. So what this will become, it will set our splash screen activity as the main activity of our Android application, and the category of this activity is a type of the launcher activity. So whenever we will going to open this particular application, it will launch this particular activity as a startup. So that is what the setting of the splash screen activity as the startup activity. Now just go and execute our Android application, run as the Android application, and wait for the few minutes until it will start loading it in the emulator. So it has just launched the emulator inside this particular thing, and when the emulator will be launched, it will going to be run the APK inside that particular emulator. So that is what the emulator. Just open your Android application, and okay, so it does not have seen any particular animation right now on the image view. So let's see what is the fault that occur over there. So what we have to do for next this thing, so just go inside our particular slide in left XML file, where you can, as you can see, the duration of this particular task is set to the very minimal configuration of the activity. Very minimal time is there, which is the inbuilt integer of our Android activity. So for that we require the particular time duration of the large time duration to see how the animation is going to be happen for this all these things. So just we have to set that particular timing inside our string.xml file. So just go inside the values, open the string.xml file. Inside that one, just one particular integer, sorry, the integer array. It is not the integer array, just you have to specify the integer in that particular thing, where we have to give the integer value over there, which will be the number of milliseconds. That is what the 5,000 millisecond, and we have to pass the particular name for this particular integer. So what I will give, I will suggest that the splash underscore screen underscore animation, let's say animation duration. So that is what the value of the name of our integer, which will be referred over there. So inside this particular XML file, just pass that integer over here, let's say with the help of the string. So it is not there inside this string. So okay, we have specified this as a integer resource, and we are just passing the string as a value. So just don't pass the string as a value, just pass the integer as a value, which we will pass as the integer value, because it is a type of the integer, it is not the type of the string. So just modify the content very well now easily again. So just go over here and define it as an integer over there. So integer, and where you will see that okay, the splash screen duration is there. So this is what the integer which we will easily see over there. So just pass this particular integer duration for the both of the set of the translate and the alpha. The translate will take our image view for in the horizontal and the vertical direction, where the alpha will modify the view of that particular content in the different field. So that is what the thing. Now just execute our Android application from the menu, run as the Android application. Yes, it has said the things are modified, and just clear these things and wait for the few seconds until it will load up inside the emulator of our Android emulator. Just wait for the few seconds. So it is just performing, then it is uploading the APK inside this particular folder, and it is starting this particular activity. So as you can see, the animation duration is that we have set over there. So it does have, just watch the animation very properly, that how the animation is working for our image view. So whenever I will again open the application, the image view will be sliding from the left to the particular screen where its actual position is there, like in this one. And now, so that is how this particular thing is working very well inside this particular thing. So this is how you can see the animation is going to be happen inside our Android application and Android application. So just take a quick revise. Whenever we will create a particular project, we have the particular activity, single activity, where the XML file and the Java file will be over there. For the splash screen, we have to create another activity. For the layout folder, XML file will be there, and to handle the background task, the Java file will be there in the source folder. So that is what our new activity, and we have to register this particular activity inside our Android manifest file with the help of the intent filter. So that will locate that particular particular activity as the main launcher activity. Inside the Java file, we have to create override the onCreate method, which will set the content view as our XML file, and we have to give create the object of this particular folder. Then we have to create the anim folder in the resource file, which will contain the animation XML file, which is the slide in left animation, which we have just created inside this particular application. Then what we have to create this particular file, slide in left particular file will hold the translate and the alpha of these two classes are there. The translate will translate the image object or the view from the horizontal and the vertical, and alpha will set the visibility of that particular view from 0 to the value 1. So that is what the parameters are saying, that is from x to x and the from alpha to 2 alpha. So that is what the XML file of the animation. Inside this particular splash screen Java file, next we have to create the animation object of this particular animation. For that we have to use the animation util and the load animation, where we have to pass the application context and the ID of that particular XML file of the animation. Then we have to override the animation listener, which will handle animation start, on animation repeat, and on animation end method. We have to override these particular three methods, from which we will load our main activity when the animation is going to be end. So what we have to create, we have to create a one particular an intent over there, and we will start the activity of our main activity inside this particular on animation end. And this particular finish is will be called, it will be written over here. Why? Because whenever we will come back from our main activity, our splash screen activity will be going to be finished immediately after our main activity. So that is what this particular thing is visible over there. So when the splash screen activity is calling the main activity over there, so it will load up the main activity of our Android application, and when we'll come back to the particular thing, it will directly finish our splash screen activity. So thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe to my channel to get notified about the another video tutorial of the Android application development. Thank you very much.